The alien fleet arrived above Earth like a metal storm. Hundreds of dark ships spread across the edge of the moon's orbit, their engines glowing blue against the black. They had crossed 6 systems to reach this small human world. Their orders were clear. Scan Earth's defenses. Find weakness. End resistance before it could grow. At the center of the fleet sat the flagship Vorak Prime, a war vessel larger than most human cities. On its bridge, Commander Sareth Vaughn watched the planet below with cold, tired eyes. Earth looked peaceful from space. Blue oceans, white clouds, silent cities glowing in the night. But Sareth did not trust peaceful things. "Status of the human fleet?" he asked. A young officer lowered his head. "Almost nothing remains, Commander. Most of their ships are damaged or grounded. Only one active warship is moving toward us." A thin smile touched Sareth's face. "One?" "Yes, Commander. One vessel." On the main screen, the ship appeared. It was smaller than expected. Black hull. Burn marks across its armor. No grand formation behind it. No escort ships. No visible fear. Across its side, human letters formed a name the alien system struggled to translate. ESS Guardian. Sareth leaned forward. A brave name for a dying ship. The bridge crew gave quiet laughs, but the sound faded quickly. Something about the human vessel felt wrong. It did not run. It did not raise shields fully. It simply moved forward, slow and steady, as if it had already accepted what was coming. "Scan it," Sareth ordered. The scanning officer placed both hands on the console. A golden beam of data reached across space and wrapped around the human warship. At first, the results were normal. Armor damage, weak reactor, limited weapons, small crew. Then the officer stopped breathing. His eyes widened. "Commander," Sareth turned sharply. "Report." The officer stared at the screen. "There is a child aboard that warship." The entire bridge went silent. Commander Sareth did not move for several seconds. "A child?" he repeated, his voice low. The scanning officer swallowed hard. "Yes, Commander. One life sign. Very young. Hidden near the center of the vessel." Sareth's eyes narrowed. "Human?" The officer checked the readings again. His fingers moved faster now, opening layers of biological data. Blood type, bone structure, organ pattern, neural activity. Then his face changed. "No," he whispered. Sareth stepped closer. "Say that again." "The child is not human." A heavy silence filled the bridge. The crew stopped laughing. Even the engine hum seemed quieter now. On the main screen, the human warship continued moving forward, damaged but steady. It was close enough now for the fleet to see scars across its black hull. Some scars were fresh. Some looked old, as if the ship had survived more battles than any record showed. "Identify the species," Sareth ordered. The officer opened the genetic archive. For a moment, hundreds of symbols flashed across the screen. Then one red warning appeared. Classified bloodline, extinct. The officer looked back at his commander. "She belongs to the Valari." That name changed the air. The Valari were not supposed to exist anymore. Their world had burned 10 years earlier during an imperial cleansing campaign. Official reports said the Valari had betrayed the Empire. Official reports said no survivors remained. Sareth remembered those reports. He had signed one of them. His jaw tightened. "That is impossible." The officer's voice shook. "The scan confirms it. Female child, alive, protected by a medical shield. Human systems are keeping her stable." Another officer spoke from across the bridge. "Commander, the human ship is transmitting no weapon lock." Sareth looked back at Earth's warship. It was not charging at them. It was carrying someone. Deep inside the ESS Guardian, behind layers of armor, a small child slept inside a glass medical chamber. Around her chamber, human soldiers stood guard with quiet faces, not as jailers, as protectors. And for the first time since reaching Earth, Sareth felt something colder than fear. He felt doubt. Commander Sareth's hand rested near the fire command panel. One touch, and the human warship would become dust. But his eyes stayed fixed on the scan. The Valari child's heartbeat appeared as a soft green line on the screen. Small, fragile, alive. "Open old Imperial records," Sareth said. The bridge crew looked at him. An older officer spoke carefully. "Commander, those files are restricted. Open them." No one argued. The records appeared in broken pieces. Official language, cold reports, perfect lies written by people who never saw the smoke with their own eyes. Valari homeworld, pacified. Civilian threat, removed. Survivor risk, 0. Sareth read the words slowly. He remembered that campaign. He had not commanded it, but his fleet had blocked escape routes. He had believed the orders. He had believed the Empire when it said the Valari were dangerous rebels. Then the human warship sent one message. Not a threat. Not a warning. A file. The alien communications officer hesitated. "Commander, the humans are transmitting medical logs." "Put them on screen." The bridge watched. The logs showed a broken evacuation ship drifting near a dead moon. Human scouts found it after the battle. Inside were bodies, ash, and one child wrapped in a silver emergency blanket. A human medic lifted her carefully. The child was barely breathing. The next recording showed human doctors working for hours. Soldiers gave blood. Engineers repaired alien life support machines they had never seen before. A human captain stood outside the medical room and refused to leave. Sareth stared at that captain, the same captain now commanding the warship in front of them. A young alien officer whispered, "They saved her." No one corrected him. Then another file opened. It showed the child waking up for the first time. Afraid. Silent. Alone. The human captain knelt beside her chamber and placed one hand against the glass. He did not speak like a conqueror. He spoke like someone making a promise. Sareth could not hear the words, but the translation appeared below. "No one will erase you again." The bridge of Vorak Prime felt smaller than before. No one spoke. No one gave orders. The alien officers only watched the screen as the human medical logs continued to play. Commander Sareth tried to keep his face hard, but the truth had already entered the room. The humans had not hidden the child as a weapon. They had hidden her because his own empire had hunted her. "Contact the human ship," Sareth said. The communications officer looked surprised. "Commander, open a channel." A few seconds later, the screen changed. A human appeared. He was older than Sareth expected. Gray touched his short hair. A scar crossed one side of his face. His uniform was simple, dark, and worn from use. Behind him, the bridge of the ESS Guardian looked damaged. Sparks flickered from one ceiling panel. A medic worked quietly near the back wall, but the captain stood calm. "This is Captain Elias Ward of the Earth Security Ship Guardian," he said. Sareth studied him. "You carry a Valari child," Sareth said. Captain Ward did not deny it. "Yes. She belongs to the Empire." For the first time, the human captain's calm expression changed. Not into fear, not anger, something colder. "No," Ward said quietly. "She belongs to herself." Several alien officers looked down. Sareth felt the words land harder than any missile. "You understand what protecting her means?" Sareth asked. "You are standing against an Imperial command." Captain Ward glanced briefly toward someone off-screen, maybe toward the hidden chamber, maybe toward the child. Then he looked back. "We found her in the wreckage your empire left behind," he said. "She had no army, no flag, no voice, just a heartbeat." The human captain stepped closer to the camera, and humanity decided that was enough. The bridge remained silent. Sareth wanted to call it weakness. He wanted to say humans were emotional, foolish, soft, but his own fleet had come with hundreds of warships. And the humans had sent one damaged ship, not to attack, to protect one child. For the first time, Sareth wondered which side truly looked afraid. Captain Ward's words remained on the screen like a wound no one could close. Commander Sareth turned away from the human transmission and looked across his bridge. His officers were not waiting for a battle command anymore. They were waiting for an answer. That was more dangerous. "Cut the channel," Sareth said. The human captain disappeared from the screen. For a moment, Sareth thought silence would restore control. It did not. A new alert flashed red across every console. Unauthorized transmission detected. The communications officer froze. "Commander, the human warship is broadcasting the medical logs." Sareth stepped forward. "To whom?" The officer's voice became thin. "To the entire fleet." Across hundreds of alien ships, screens changed at the same time. Pilots, engineers, gunners, and soldiers saw the same footage. They saw the dead Valari world. They saw the broken escape craft. They saw human doctors saving the child the Empire claimed never existed. On destroyer bridges, officers stopped issuing orders. In gun decks, crews removed their hands from firing controls. Inside troop carriers, young soldiers watched in silence as the Valari child opened her eyes for the first time under human care. Then, the final file played. It was not from humans. It was an old imperial order. Sareth recognized the seal immediately. The order did not say the Valari were rebels. It said they were becoming politically inconvenient. It said their world must be removed before other colonies copied them. A whisper moved through the fleet like a crack through glass. "They lied." Another voice followed. "We killed civilians." Then another. "She survived." Sareth's command channel filled with officers demanding explanation, but he gave none. His throat felt dry. His hands felt heavy. The human warship did not fire. It only waited. And slowly, one by one, alien ships began shutting down their weapon locks. On the main tactical screen, hundreds of red attack markers faded into gray. The fleet had not been destroyed. It had been made to remember its conscience. Commander Sareth watched the tactical screen turn gray. One weapon lock disappeared, then 10, then 50. Across the fleet, captains stopped answering direct fire orders. Some claimed technical failure. Some said their crews refused to continue. Others said nothing at all. That silence was worse than rebellion. It was judgment. "Commander," the weapons officer said carefully, "we still have control of the flagship batteries." Sareth looked at him. The officer was young, too young to remember the Valari campaign, too young to understand how easily a government could turn fear into obedience. "Target the human ship?" the officer asked. Sareth did not answer. On the screen, the ESS Guardian floated alone before the entire alien fleet. Its armor was cracked. Its reactor was weak. Its shields were barely holding. Yet it seemed larger than all of them, because it carried the truth. Then another transmission came through. This one was from inside the human warship. A small face appeared on the screen. The Valari child. She stood beside Captain Ward, wrapped in a simple blue blanket. Her eyes were wide, but she did not hide. The human captain kept one hand near her shoulder, not touching, only close enough to show she was safe. The child spoke in a soft voice. The translation took a moment. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I am not a crime." No one on the alien bridge breathed. Sareth felt something inside him break. Not loudly, not violently, but like old metal finally giving under pressure. He removed his hand from the command rail. "Stand down," he said. The weapons officer stared at him. "Commander?" Sareth's voice became firmer. "All ships stand down." The order spread across the fleet. No missiles launched, no lasers fired, no final heroic battle filled the sky. Only silence, but this time, it was not fear, it was shame. And somewhere inside Earth's damaged warship, a child who should have been erased remained alive.